Welcome to Shomach Shov and the Dav, your sponsor, Luinishbas Harmbakashon Labas Yitzchok. We're holding Bo Basra Daf Kuf Ainei. We're holding at the last Mishnah, Mesechus Bo Basra, the last Mishnah of State in Ezekiel. And the Mishnah ends with the words, Mamonos. Someone wants to be a Chacham, he should deal with Dinei Mamonos. She'ein lecha mikzoya b'toira yoser mehem vehem kimayan hanirvea. Mikzoya, the Pashup Shah refers to the subject. There's no subject more than them, that they're mayan and nirvea. They're like a spring of water. What does it mean? So I have a mahalach that's written down, both the Balaflo and the Panim Yofos in Pashup Mishpatim, and in a similar way, the Tiferes Yisrael and the Mishnahs here on the Yochin in Ois Peidalet. And the idea is that what's unique about Dinei Mamonos, says the Balaflo, is that some other subjects of Torah are things that you cannot be midame milsil milsil. We learned this Masechta, we mentioned earlier, that by treifus, if you know the one limb becomes treifah, it doesn't mean the other limb becomes treifah. Not necessarily you can use a svara and a logic in every place in Torah. But Dinei Mamonos is all based on svara. It's all based on logic. It's all based on the chokhmah and noishis to come and figure out what's going on. And that's the idea, says the Balaflo, called mikzoya. Mikzoya means they're connected together. You hear one thing at Dinei Mamonos, from there you could come to a lumdus, to understanding of something else. It's all very logical, all makes sense, and it has to build up based on your logic. And this brings an unbelievable opportunity, but on the other hand, an unbelievable responsibility. And that's what the Tiferes Yisrael points out. That because it has to do with the logic of a person, it's not very brurim of Asur and Mutter, but it's logical concepts based on the Gemara. So with a small little logical error, a person can do something which is wrong. How much responsibility the Dayan has, that he has in his logic and his chokmah to come and be machriya in Dinei Mamonos. And he adds, in a regular case of Yisur v'heter, a person in worst case can be machmir. Chumrah is not the right thing to do when you have a place to be mekel. But if you're machmir, you know you're not doing an Isser. But by Dinei Mamonos, there's no such thing as chumrah. When you have two people coming in front of a dayan, if you're machmir for one, so you mekel to the other. So you have to come to an understanding and havana in Dinei Mamonos. That's the chokhmah that we're talking about over here in Dinei Mamonos, how much logic a person has to have in order to get to it. And connected this with the Shem Shmuel writes in a few places in the Sfarim, the name of his father, says that, you know why Isur v'heter is easier to a certain extent? Because Isur v'heter, whatever is Asur, has tumor to it. Belongs to Koiches Hara, belongs to the Chitzonim. There's not Torah, there's no Tahara. But with Dinei Mamonos, it's not Tomeh v'Tar. They both belong to Am Yisrael. They both talk about money that belongs to a Yid. So they both have the Kedusha of a Yid. I just have to decide which part belongs to this Yid, which belongs to that Yid. It's much harder to differentiate within the Kedusha itself. And that's a special Chachma that you have in Dinei Mamonos. And this Shem Shmuel, and basically the continuation of what the Tiferes Yisrael said, gives us a new havana in what the Ben Yoyada points out here in the Sugya. Ben Yoyada speaks al derech musar. He brings, you have two people coming to the Dayan, and the Dayan says that one, Reuven, owes money to Shimon. So Reuven gets all upset, he's all angry, he doesn't want to give money to Shimon. So says that Ben Yoyada, the Dayan, turns to the Reuven and says, if I would tell you that the food that you have is asur, it's chametz, you have to throw it away, and you would lose the same amount of money, would you have any complaints? He says, of course not. I want to do Dinei Torah. The Rav says it's asur, it's asur. So he says, so why when I'm telling you that you owe your friend the money is not yours, then you get upset. So Ben Yodog says, what's pshat? Pshat is that when you come two people to din, so then there is jealousy. Then there's kina. I don't want, when you throw the thing away, nobody's enjoying it. But for Yenin to have it more than me, that's the kina. And that's why he says that the word mikzoya here means Lashon Tza'ako and Lashon Uktzim, meaning they are screaming at each other and they come and they oiket each other, they're hurting each other. That's what Ben Yoda says. But based on the Shem Shmuel, we can add to it a little bit more, an oimek, which is not only al derech musar, but maybe al derech machshava. The pshat is, when you have a Isur v'heter, so then the pshat is, it either belongs to Kedusha or doesn't belong to Kedusha. And if the Rav paskins and says, this thing is Asur, this thing is treif for his chametz, but pshat doesn't belong to Kedusha, so the person doesn't care anymore. But if we're talking about Dinei Mamonos, the pshat is that whatever the Dayan decides, it still belongs to Kedusha. So the differentiation is much harder to accept because they both belong to Kedusha. The Shaila is to this Yid, to that Yid. That thing is, the Yid screams out and says it's mine because it's Kaddish, meaning it's a moment of a Yid. Moment of a Yid does not belong to Tuma. That's where someone feels more shaykhs to it, and therefore there's a time against the Dayan. Ein lecha, haroitze sheyachkim yasrik bedinei Mamonos. Anyone who wants to join Shal Machshava email list to WhatsApp group, please email shalmachshava@gmail.com.